Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpack some equestrian era character. Yeah is today's character, and it's just one dot less than 治, which means governance. But yeah is totally came from a totally different source, put together with different symbolizations. Okay, you look at a simplified traditional, exactly the same, but if you look at 2,000 years ago, this two dot actually came from this two, almost like an arrow, or this triangle, like a three corners thing. That is an ancient Chinese way to say icing cold. So two eyes sign next to each other. Okay, this frozen or ice symbol, even if we only use two of them, that's enough to cover the whole space. So you get this environmental setting. It's cold. And then the right side is a ladle. The top is a ladle. I mean, it looks twisty. Like how can a ladle look like that? But that's how Chinese ancient times um, abstract the ladle looks like this curvature thing. Um, I guess I guess ancient times food is more scarce, was more scarce than today, and people want to make sure you don't drop, um, don't have any waste. So I guess ancient ladle was super secure to prevent soup dropping. That's my theory. Okay. The bottom actually originally came from a cooking utensil with two handles on the side. And eventually that food container or cooking utensil became, not a utensil, but cookware became the mouse symbol that at the beginning of the show, I always visualize it as smiley face, smiley mouse to have a upturned corners of the mouse. Otherwise, how am I going to explain this is a mouse symbol with like what are these two things? It actually is the handles of ancient cookware. Anyways, so the right side, one's a ladle, one is a cookware. Both of them are related to eating, dining, and we have two eye symbol on the side. And the whole meaning means smell. How are we going to connect the dots? Okay, now I unpacked, but it's all scattered all over. Okay, here is, according to some scholars, the eye symbol putting up there simply means to describe the similar looking physical process. Is ice going to melt? Ice is melting, right? Metal is smelting. So English word even sound similar, right? And this ladle over the mouth symbol is probably also something going to, once put in your mouth, it's going to melt. So it's a food feature, food processing feature, maybe. So both of them, ice or the feeding process is related to melting, related to liquidify so that it's easier for us to digest, or so that ice turn to water is easier. I mean, because it's temperature change. So that became indirectly applied to this smelting phenomenon happen on metal. We humans, if we don't artificially heat the temperature to a certain height, we wouldn't necessarily ever see metal melt, right? But since humans master not only fire, but technology use fire not only to cook, but to melt metals, then smelt become a major technology back then. And I can totally see, because we have such weaponries and like armors, axes, and all that weaponries, right? I guess for survival purpose, for equestrian era, it's important for tribes to develop their welding or metal processing technology. That's their war technology back then. So it's like survival level critical for the tribe. So we can understand why smelt, yeah, was a big deal. Okay, 冶炼, 冶炼, smelled, distill. So yeah, the purpose of smelt is to distill. The reason why you want to melt down the metal so it becomes liquidy, not only you want to shape it into a sword or axe, but also you want to um, get rid of the impurities, something that's not part of the metal, but mixed with it because it's formed in nature into rocks. So you want to melt other stuff. So that's the distilling. Okay, so therefore the two often pair together. Um, 妖冶 there is a little bit of twist and turn here because we're talking about the weaponry making technologies, big stuff. And here we're all of a sudden become like coquettish. Okay. Or coquettish. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't normally use it. But Chinese put yao as a little bit hard to translate. It is non-human, female being. So it's kind of equivalent to witch, but in English, witch carry a particular connotation that visually looks different from Chinese yao. Chinese yao almost like a seductive female that's not human. Okay, that's yao. And yao ye apparently is not such a seductive female going to smelt some weaponry for you, right? And so here we're actually using the ye because ye is smelting. Who is she smelting? I guess we can all see how that works, right? So um, I think the translation of coquettish overheat may sort of semantically make sense. Hopefully that 妖冶 can translate to English. That still makes sense to you. So 妖冶 is almost like a social critical of attractive women because in ancient times, at least through several dynasties, especially like not Tang dynasty, because Tang is so confident. The culture is confident. The man in that culture is confident. So women free to display their body, their attractiveness, no problem. But in other eras in China, okay, man, they are trying to hide on their competition from the borders. And women probably were not in the position to be more out on their own, to be, to own their own body, to own their own look, to own their own space, and all that independence, more independence qualities was not appreciated culturally. So Yao Ye is a social commentary on such attractive women who kind of break the social norm or expectations of how women should carry themselves. So Yao Ye Yao is like they instead of witch, Chinese use Yao. Like you're not even human. It's dehumanizing, but you're attractive. And yeah, is like you're going to smelt some man eventually. Okay, Tao Ye, we talked about this before. Tao is pottery making, and it's also in high heat. It's going to form the pottery into shape and kind of perm that pottery into that shape. And Ye is almost same function, but the process is a little bit different, right? So it's high heat, melt the metal and to refine it, and so that you can reshape it into any kind of metal ware. So Tao Yi together when used on humans, we humans, Chinese recognize, can be shaped just like potteries or any metal piece. In usual temperature, you won't see the change, but you put them into heat, into trying times. Through it all, that person is going to be transformed into a new pottery, into a new weaponry, something like that. Okay. So here is a smelting picture, and metals do behave liquidy when in heat, high heat. Thank you for your time. See you another day.